Daughter abandoned me when I was battling cancer. 2 years later, she showed up thinking I was a idiot expecting to inherit everything that I have. I, 56 am, was diagnosed with colon cancer 7 months back. It was detected during my routine check and gladly it was just at the initial stage. No matter how positive the doctors were, I was devastated. No one is happy dying. I came home and informed my daughter about it. She was traumatized just like me. I have no one in my life, except for my daughter and likewise for her. She has no one but me. Her mother is alive but non-existent for both of us. I'm a single man, living with my 22-year-old daughter Hannah. My wife and I got separated amicably 14 years ago. We fell out of love and she moved to Atlanta with her boyfriend. I was left with the custody of my daughter who was 8 back then. Hannah had been a difficult child. Our separation didn't go down well with her. She became resentful of her mother because she left her. She never spoke to her mother after that. She never took her call. I tried my best to fill that gap and raise her well, but I guess I faltered here. When I told Hannah about my cancer, her first reaction was pain and hurt. We cried and hugged and told how much we love each other. We talked about our happy times together, her school's graduation day, our yearly vacations, and hiking. She promised to support me and take care of me. Never thought she would get tired of me and abandon me, but here we are. After 7 months, she packs her bags and leaves me behind like a pile of garbage. I have been nothing but supportive to her for her whole life and this is what I get in return. I do understand that it's tough for a young woman to take care of her ailing father. Well, she didn't have to clean my shit. I had a nurse taking care of those things. All I needed from my daughter was to be by my side. My doctor advised I should quit my job or shrink it down minimally because the treatment would take a lot of me, mentally and physically. I informed my manager about it. He was empathetic of my situation and released me. He said I could rejoin after fighting the deadly guest. I quit my job to focus full-time on my healing. Finance isn't a problem for me. I don't have any major responsibility. I have paid off my house mortgage loan back. Daughter's education is done, how much she pursued. I have enough substantial savings to last for a few years. Then I have some assets that I can liquidate in case the cash dries out. So I'm in a good position to handle it financially. I was also quite positive about the treatment. My doctors were supportive. Hannah used to take me for the chemo and regular checkups. Chemo session was so painful and draining. I barely was able to move for a day or two after the session. I needed Hannah's help with the basic stuff like getting me food and meds. I got myself a wheelchair so that I could move around the house on my own during those weekdays. Yet, on some of the days, getting into the wheelchair also felt like a task. The treatment was wearing me down mentally as it was physically. I felt so weak that I felt my bones were about to blow out. It made me even more frustrated that I was struggling to do the basic tasks, like eating, walking, or using a loo. As the months went by, Hannah got cranky. She never stopped by my room. She stopped talking to me properly. Our conversation boiled down to one-word response from her. It was painful for me to see my daughter ignoring me. I have no one in life but her. Talking to her made me forget most of my pain, but when she turned hostile, nothing could be worse for me. I confronted her. I asked her if she considered me to be a burden. She bursts out and says yes. Nothing could be more heartbreaking than this. She said she was sick of taking care of me. I understand that making timely meals for me and taking care of my basic stuff could be overwhelming for us and young people don't like to be around sick. So, I told her I would be hiring a nurse to take care of me. I asked the hospital to provide a house nurse for me and they allotted a nurse who was experienced in taking care of cancer patients. I thought I had cracked a solution for my problem, but no. Hannah was still cranky. She continued her cold behavior. Not only she maintained distance from me but was also mean with the nurse. I asked the nurse to stay out of my daughter's way, but Hannah picked up on the nurse on trivial things. She even asked the nurse not to touch the refrigerator or even enter the kitchen because apparently, she was dirty by cleaning the patient's stool. Though Hannah never said anything on her face, after a while, it became evident to the nurse that Hannah didn't like her presence. The nurse asked me if I was satisfied with her work because it seemed Hannah was not. I affirmed that she was performing her duties very well and I have no complaints. That day when the nurse left in the evening, I confronted Hannah about her behavior. Previously also, I had asked Hannah to stay out of my business and let the nurse do her work peacefully. But now water had reached its limit and my nurse was feeling the brunt. I had to intervene before she quit her job. When I mentioned to Hannah that she was mean to the nurse, she flipped out. She said I was unnecessarily blowing it out of proportion. She said, she stinks of shit. I was trying to teach her some basic hygiene etiquette, and that bitch ran to you with tears. I lost my shit and yelled at her. Goddamn, she's a nurse. She has been taught and trained about hygiene. She knows her shit more than you do. What the hell you think you are to give her hygiene lessons? School dropout Detroit. She screamed and ranted for a good 10 minutes about how I had made her life miserable. She held me responsible for why her mother abandoned her and why she couldn't have a normal childhood like others. This didn't hurt me much. I'm used to this kind of outburst from her. She had done this so many times. What was hurtful was her false allegations. She said, That nurse is a piece of crap who eats shit, looks and smells like shit. I know why you're protecting that whore. Has she made you a sugar daddy? She went on to say that the nurse must have realized that I was a soft target to manipulate and get my wealth because I have no family to inherit my property. I cut her off in between, like what the hell? What kind of delusional being she is? Our argument got so worse that she stormed the door in my face and left. After an hour, I hear her yelling again from the living room and she's dragging her packed suitcases out of the house. She shouts, "I'm leaving the house for your good. This is what you wanted. Now you can do whatever you want with your mistress. Shower your every penny on that slut before you die. I don't care. Don't expect me to visit you when you're dying. I'm not gonna come." I wanted to stop her but her words broke my soul. Tears welled up in my eyes and I just sat near the window, sobbing and seeing her stuffing her suitcases in the tank and driving off. It's been weeks now since she has left. I feel worthless. I have failed as a father. Her words hurt me more than my illness. How could she allege that I was having a relationship with my nurse? How could she even think I would be wasting myself on the nurse? Feel like a failure. Failed at everything. Failed as a husband, failed as a father. Feel no motivation to continue my treatment. Eddie 1, thanks for all the love and support. The post blew up unexpectedly. I was looking at this space as a sort of therapy to get rid of my miserable and lonely life. Everyone engaging in my post is very precious to me. Even the slightest ounce of love means a lot to me. So thanks all. Would like to add a brief background about Hannah. One good guy asked me here why is my 22-year-old daughter living with me and that I took her for therapy in the early days. Dude, yes I did everything to bring her emotions in check. Counseling, spending time with her, taking her out. In fact, I never got serious with any woman to avoid any turmoil in Hannah's life. Hannah didn't take our separation well. She got aggressive. I took her to therapy and it helped her to an extent but her aggression often relapsed. She dropped out of college. I tried hard to convince her to continue but she didn't. She said she wanted to do something of her own, start a salon. I funded her spa salon. Though she met a guy whom she claimed to be the love of her life. She wanted to marry him after dating for less than a year. She was barely 19 then. I advised her to spend more time before making any move but yeah, as usual, she did what she wanted. Her marriage didn't last even a year. She shifted back with me. The guy she married was a loser. He had no job. He lived on her salon income and when they ate up all the investment off her salon, they had to sell it. He left her shortly after that. She didn't get any alimony whatsoever. The guy was broke. So ultimately she was left with no income and no husband. I had to have her back. She has been living with me, on my income. Now when I'm dying, who knows, she abandoned me like a pile of garbage. Update 1, hey friends, I know I took months to update. Thanks for checking on me. Just so happy to connect with so many of you on DM. Never thought that this space would give me some genuine friends. This month I had my last chemo session. I have been declared cancer-free. I can't thank the medical facilities enough for the impeccable treatment they have provided. After that clash with my daughter, things got so worse that my recovery halted if not deteriorated. My doctor got concerned and recommended I seek a counselor to help me cope with the stress. It helped. It really did. The first session with the counselor was nothing but me bawling my lungs out. It was such a relief talking to someone after a long time. I even told her that I don't want to continue my treatment and let myself succumb to the disease but the counselor helped me cope with my depression and hopelessness. I was even asked to have a full-time nurse because I was living alone and was growing weak. The any emergency occurs without hours, I should have someone to take care of me. I offered double pay to my existing caregiver to accommodate me full-time because she knew my medical history and my diagnosis so I didn't want to replace her. Had Hannah been here, she would have picked up on me for having a nurse full-time. It disgusts me to think how she accused me of something which I could have never thought about. Anyway, I have moved past my daughter. If she can abandon me at my lowest, I shouldn't be thinking about her either. With the support from my doctors, counselor, and nurse, I focus on my healing. My nurse used to take me for chemo and I realized that more than physical, I used to get mentally drained earlier. When Hannah used to accompany me, she was constantly throwing tantrums at me which worried me more than the physical exhaustion I was going through. In the process of my treatment, I lost my hair, lost my weight but I was still positive and determined to overcome it. Guilty of saying this but I think Hannah moving out proved a positive thing for me. With time, I felt the negativity moving out of my life. I couldn't feel more relief. I was holding on to her until now. Made her my sole purpose in life. Gave up my happiness for hers but by moving out she taught me a lesson. A bitter lesson that I shouldn't have overdone my duties, my love, my care. Shouldn't have let her exploit me and walk over me. She made me a punching bag and I just stood there and took it. Not anymore. Ah, such a relief. I'm looking forward to rebuilding my life. Earlier I thought of going back to work but now I think I don't need to. I have decent savings to make the ends meet. If at all I see running out of money, I'll take up some basic job at a supermarket or so. But right now, I'm focusing on getting my weight back and strengthening my muscles. Started with walks, and would soon jog and run after the breathlessness subsides. It's not easy. I still drain out after doing the basic chores, but I'm taking it one at a time. My nurse is still here, but I would be letting her go once I regain some strength to be able to take care of my shit.